What will you do when you cross over? That's the subject. What will you do when you cross over? One of the most memorable and familiar passages of Scripture is the crossing of the Red Sea by the children of Israel. I think we relate to that story because we all have to cross over challenges, have to cross over depths or something that's hindering us from going to the next and better chapter of our lives. We all have to cross some things if you're going to move out of the stagnation, because stagnation leads to death. Anything stagnant is starting to stink after a while. Put some water in a bucket long enough, it'll start to stink. Because stagnation is not what God is about. He's always telling us to move forward. Any time we become comfortable as a people, comfortable as a church, comfortable as an individual, when we stop growing, we die. Anytime a baby does not grow and they have a condition where they do not grow, they do not live very long. And many times we can get to a place where we don't think we need to keep moving forward. Sometimes we come to a place where we need to move forward, but there's something in the way, something that we need to overcome. The children of Israel relate to us, and we relate to them because they came out of 430 years of slavery. Mountains on both sides, Red Sea in front of him, Pharaoh's army behind him. He called on God, and God said, "What you calling me for?" God had checked call ID and said, "I ain't tell you to call me." I'm quite sure that at the time Moses wanted to tell God, "I ain't signed up for this job. You came and got me. I was in the backside of Mount Horeb watching sheep and was happy. Happily married, had my sons in the family business. Then you call me out in here and tell me to go down to Pharaoh because the bush was on fire and wouldn't burn up. And now you asking me why I'm calling you." Sometimes God will have you out there on a limb. But there's an old saying, you're out there on a limb because that's where the fruit is at. God will push you out there, make you think you're all by yourself, but then God speaks a little more. Don't hang up on him when he doesn't answer like you want him to answer. Don't hang up on him when your prayers don't come out the way you think they want to come out. Because God says, "What do you have in your hand?" Because God is telling Moses, "I already said you can't tell it. Let me tell it what God has done for me." Not only when you acknowledge him do you tell what the Lord done for you, but you tell what he did to the enemy too. You let people know that the enemy had said, like in the text this morning, the enemy was bragging about what they were going to do. The enemy has a way with his words to break our faith. When the devil whispers in your ear, when your so-called friends are so negative, and everybody's speaking doom and gloom, the enemy has a way with his words saying, like in the text, "I will overtake them. I'm going to run them down. I'm going to catch them. I'm going to divide them. I'm going to take everything back they left with." God, the enemy has a way, God bless, of saying, like Jesus told Peter, "The devil has asked for you, that he might sift you like wheat. But I prayed for you, that when you're converted, you will strengthen your brother." And the enemy has a way, if you listen to him, of paralyzing you, because his words were meant for them not to go forward, not to say, "You know what, we're going to call on the name of God." The enemy wanted them just to give up, throw their hands up, and march peacefully back into slavery. That's what the devil's trying to do to somebody here this morning. Make you give up, throw your hands up, and march peacefully back into bondage, back into the same bondage you prayed God to deliver you from. Maybe you think God isn't moving fast enough. Now you want to go back to the same old junk. What you going to do when you cross over? Moses sung a new song. As a matter of fact, this is the first oldest recorded song in the Bible. Moses, the leader, Moses, the sheep herder, Moses, the miracle worker, finds himself also a poet, songwriter. And he says, you know what? We're going to sing to the Lord a new song. We're going to sing about his goodness. He taught them the song that's recorded in chapter 15. This is a song. And Israel learned that song. And the same thing about a new song is, why a new song, Moses? We need a new song because we've been through some stuff we ain't never been through before. I ain't going to sing about slavery. I know that song. No need in singing about the 10 commandments or the 10 plagues. We know that song. I'm not going to sing about Pharaoh. We know that song. But this song that I'm writing now, Moses said, is a new song because we crossed a new chapter, because we started a new movement. We started something new called the Promised Land. We crossed over from the Red Sea into moving toward the Promised Land. When God brings you over, you got a new testimony.